Hello, everybody. My name is Akira Nuruddin, and this is the Cerner implementation at the Veterans Affairs. So here's our introduction. So the VA plans to migrate towards a data sharing element using the Cerner application as their EHR application. Basically, their goal is to implement this application across the three VA facilities just to improve data sharing, making sure everything is okay, and to improve health. To improve outcomes. So here's a background. Based on week one's presentation, it's important to have accurate data for business decisions within the organizations, which help with analytical strategies. Without data sharing, this can create challenges for organizations to transfer important data, and electronic data is important for real-time analytics, revenue cycle management, decision-making, and problem solving. Bad data equals bad decisions. So before, I guess they was using a paper-based model, as you know, that causes many problems if as a transition to an electronic world, we need to have a electronic model based off our electronic platform just to stay in touch with what's going on as technology advances. So here's our problem statement. Major organizations like the Veterans Affairs host important data or patient information for veterans. Switching to an EHR system can help minimize medical errors and improve care. Basically, they're taking all millions of records that they have and unifying them into one record. So the interest. I would start by making a detailed plan for implementation. Basically, they didn't have a detailed plan, and they're just following the implementation path that they use for the Department of Defense, which they said they haven't had any problems, but it's better to have a detailed plan for your organization because even though that organization didn't have any problems, you might have problems. Next, I would create a schedule. A lot of problems were with the time length. It's going to take 10 years, or they've actually been talking about this implementation process since 1998. So obviously they didn't have a detailed schedule. And then lastly, I would just make sure the software is compatible with the VA's infrastructure, just to make sure there's no more problems or risks that might arise. Conclusion. Okay, these are some of the constraints that the organization might have. So the number one thing was cost, 10 billion plus 6 billion, which equals the $16 billion that they need for the whole project itself. The 10-year time frame. The EHR project leaders are dismissing feedback from physicians and nurse. Basically, they're not getting the feedback and they're not listening to the problems that the physicians or the nurses have. So that was a major problem. And then there was also a failure at Cerner's implementations at the Pentagon. So it was a really bad failure. Obviously, they lost $4.3 billion at the Pentagon. So that's just some things to take into consideration when implementing this Cerner application, which were like some strengths and limitations. But thank you guys. And these are my references.